What's up, guys? Headed into Walmart here. I always seem to forget something along the way, and I meant to do this way before this weekend, but I need more memory cards. I'm not exactly sure how much footage I'm going to be taking tonight, but I want to make sure that memory isn't an issue. So we're going to head into this Walmart before we head out to the racetrack and take care of that. Then I'm going to grab me some gas and grab me something to eat, and I'll be heading on the road. Nice Walmart, nice. Got the NASCAR race from Talladega on in the background there on their display TVs. Pretty cool. So I got my memory cards, got 2 of them, 32 gigs. It's all the camera that I'm using can handle at one time. I wish it was 128, but 32 is gonna have to be enough. So I've got 5 memory cards now. Pretty sure that'll be enough. I guess I could be choosy with footage later if I need to, just make sure that I'm running the camera as needed. This is the first time that I'm going to be using this camera out in the field at the racetrack, so I'm not 100% sure exactly what I'm going to be recording and how long I'm going to be recording, and exactly how much space I'm going to take up at any one given time. So just want to be safe than sorry, and if 5 memory cards can't get me through the day, then I need to change something probably. So headed back to the truck. Fighting this wind here. It is windy today, but it feels good. 84 degrees, no rain. It's going to be a good day at the racetrack, but I need to get on the road, get out of Pensacola and get to Mobile. It's almost time to get to the racetrack. All right, so I'm headed down the highway. I'm still in Pensacola at this point. I know, it's taking me forever to get out of town. One last tradition that I have, or one last part of my routine before I head out of town, is I go get gas. I swing by the ATM if I need to, make that last trip to Walmart on the way out if I must. But something I always do is grab me a bite to eat on the way to the racetrack. Little something to snack on the trip down there, and want to know if you guys have any kind of pre-race traditions that involve food. I'm going to do a video on this later, but when I was a kid, and from the very first time that I went to the racetrack, through that first summer, and a little bit on beyond that, whenever I'd go to the racetrack, we would stop off at Arby's. In fact, I'm about to pass the Arby's right now. I'm on the Mobile Highway here in Pensacola on the way. I'm going to pass by 5 Flags on the way out of town, and I would stop, and I would stop. My dad and the people we were with would stop, and we get a sack full of roast beef sandwiches from Arby's, and we eat that in the stands throughout the night. And, because you get a sack full of sandwiches for like $5 back then. Something really, really cheap, But it was a little bit of it was the first time that I can recall in my memory ever eating at Arby's, and it set forth the tradition of going and getting something to eat before you go to the racetrack. Now, once you get there, you're going to get yourself a hot dog and a soda and some fries, maybe some chicken fingers, who knows, maybe a track burger, some barbecue, who knows. If you're tailgating, oh man, it's wide open then. But for me, for my family, it's always been stopping off at a restaurant for something quick before we head to the racetrack. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to head over to this McDonald's here, and I'm going to get me a few chicken nuggets and some sweet iced tea, and head on down the road. So the next time I see you will be when we get to Mobile Speedway. Check it out, guys. In addition to racing tonight at Mobile Speedway, US 90 Dragway is up and running at the same time. So plenty of racing to be had. There's a car in a box. Looks like it's getting ready to run. Motorcycle following up behind it. Oh yeah, let's take a look like that. All right, but I'm here for the oval track, Mobile International Speedway. I tell you what, one of the improvements I would like to see in the long-term future of this place is a better entrance. I mean, this is kind of tight, kind of old, and it'd be nice to have something new going on. But something else I wanted to mention as we roll up to the gate here, as we pass underneath the iconic archway that says Mobile International Speedway, is check out this late model here that's on this stand just for looks. Now, this always has struck me as odd. Well, not always. In light of recent events, this strikes me as odd. If you look at that body, that's a new style body. Now, it's not literally a new style body because the Gen 6 has been updated since then. This is more that AR style body that came out a few years ago that didn't really take off. But I mentioned this because of the ongoing controversy / debate about 5-star bodies, Gen 6 late model body, and here at Mobile Speedway, a track that not only doesn't have late models right now, but also, if it did have late models, wouldn't have this style body, has one on their sign. So it looks cool though, and I hope that before all is said and done that we see these newer style bodies on these late models. It's time for an update. It's been almost 15 years, y'all. All right, so heading over to the office to sign in, and we'll see you a little bit later.
Just pretend you're on the phone like everybody else.
I know, right? So I'm about halfway through the day here at Mobile International Speedway, and I've been recording with my Canon Vixia R800, this camcorder right here, and it seems pretty good. It's fine and all right and everything, but I happen to have needed to make a switch, and I was going to shoot some stills with my DSLR, and it doesn't take a rocket science to figure this out, but just happened to be standing at the right place and needed to shoot a video and didn't have the camcorder with me, so I switched the DSLR over to video mode, and lo and behold, big surprise here, the DSLR is far superior to that Canon. Now that Canon's gonna be great in its own way for certain things at certain times in certain places, but that said, I've definitely made a change. I'm switched over my rig, taking everything off of the Canon and put it on to my Nikon, and yeah, it's doing a lot better. It's got a mic on it, it's got the cage on it, has the cold shoe for later on tonight when I put the light on it so that I could do interviews. So from here on out, the rest of the day, I'm sticking with the DSLR because it's far superior. So the camcorder is probably going to be relegated to certain use cases where I need to shoot more than 20 minutes at a time, or I'm going to use be doing web video, things like that. But still a nice camera. But the Nikon, even with its so autofocus and being able to hear the motors of the lens when it's in focus mode, just doesn't have it compared to yeah, it's just far superior to the camcorder. And yeah, I can see in the frame here that my face is getting red. I did put sunscreen on at the start of the day, but it's clearly a mixture of being just plain out hot, and maybe it's time to add a little more. So I'm gonna put on another spray here. I got a couple hours, maybe an hour or so left of daylight. So try not to get sunburned here at Mobile International Speedway. So the driver's meeting just concluded, and it's a little past 6:30, maybe close to 6:45, but all is quiet at the Speedway at the moment as we get closer to heat racing. Everything's supposed to kick off at about 7 with heat races in each division, followed by features. So quite a bit left to do tonight. It's a very chill atmosphere compared to the hustle and bustle of some other races and some other weekends, and part of that's in conjunction with there being not as many competitors here as we would like to be. But I hope that the show that they put on tonight will entice more to come and race at Mobile Speedway, because they have a good thing here if people come on out and see what it's all about. And I hope that vlogs like this and videos like the ones I'm going to be posting later on in the week will showcase that. So there's a lot to be seen here at Mobile Speedway, and we'll see what the racing has in store for us tonight later on. Let's see here. We are about 8 something, a little past 8 o'clock, and heat races are done, and you know, they're all right. It was pretty cool. I shot mostly from the front stretch, but then I moved to the top of Bob's trailer over here to shoot the sprint car heat, and that was pretty fun. So all day today I've been shooting in ISO 100, and just as it turned dark I switched over to about ISO 400, maybe 5, and it's been great. I haven't felt or seen any issues with light at all. So far shooting has been great, as long as everything is in focus like it needs to be. I've been doing some out of focus stuff on purpose for artistic reasons, but so far so good with everything I'm doing tonight, and I'm having a blast. And I think we're going to put together a pretty good, as a modified goes roaring by, I think we're going to put together a pretty good video from tonight's show. So far so good. All right, I'll talk to you a little bit later, guys. All right, guys, well, it's the end of the night. I just got done loading everything up into the truck here, and I'm getting ready to head home. I thought it was a pretty successful night. I still feel like kind of like a fish out of water, so to speak, doing this, and it's going to take a little bit of trial and error to figure out exactly what works and what doesn't, but shooting video was fun. There are some areas I definitely can see I need to do some improvement in and make some changes. But overall, I think that the end product will be okay, and it will just get better and better from there. As far as the racing on track goes, it was all right. It was all right. The shorter fields led to the situation where you have the leader checking out. There was a little bit of battle in there early on. The sprint cars had issues getting going, and that was kind of interesting because at one point a car flew off the banking, which is nothing new, but this time it kept on going and found a way to get behind the wall. It left the speedway, and I'm not talking about flipping or anything. I mean, like, it found a hole in the wall, a gap, and wound up between that and on the other side of the fence. So that was interesting. It took a little bit to sort out and clean up. And sprint cars in their nature take a little bit longer to get going, so caution flags are longer, the initial start's longer because you got to push start all the cars. So that was a little bit of a drag there, but still, I mean, that's the way sprint cars are. Once they get going, they go, and they go fast, and it doesn't take long to click off laps at all. I mean, they are literally the fastest thing that goes around this track. So once they got going, it's pretty awesome. The leader, man, wow, he had everybody, you know, he checked out. He was gone into the last few laps when something happened, and he ended up in the pits. So I left the win to go to somebody who, in his post-race interview, felt like that he was a 4th or 5th place car, and he ended up with the win, his 2nd win of the season. So more about that in the main video. But needless to say, the sprint cars are a spectacle to be seen, and they did a great job again putting on a great show. So it was fun to watch that. Overall, the racing itself was fine. It was typical Mobile style racing, and the overall vibe that I got from the night is that it's a step in the right direction. It's a positive step in the direction that this place needs to go, and it's, you know, it's an uphill battle from here, but it's a battle that I think everybody's willing to fight. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off with this vlog from here. I'm going to go home tonight and rest up, maybe watch the all-star race that I've got recorded. I might wait and watch it tomorrow. I don't know, but tomorrow's going to be a jam-packed day. I've got to catch up on ARCA, and I've also got to start editing all this video that I've taken tonight, and that's a process in and of itself. So going to be a couple days probably before you see the results of that, but when they do come out, I think it's going to be pretty entertaining. So with that said, for PixelatedSPEED.com, I'm Daniel Vining.